Picture this: a man living in a large ceramic jar in the heart of Athens, wandering barefoot through the marketplace by day and staring at the stars by night. This isn't fiction. This was Diogenes, a philosopher so radical, so unconventional, that he threw away all of society's rule books to live life on his own terms. Intrigued? Then stick around, because today we're diving into the mind of a man who chose homelessness over a palace, who told Alexander the Great to step out of his sunlight, and who lived as a human embodiment of dissent. Welcome to the extraordinary world of Diogenes, the forefather of Cynicism, and a philosopher who turned the world upside down, right from his ceramic jar. Step back in time to the bustling city-states of ancient Greece, around 4th century BCE, a time of unprecedented intellectual and cultural awakening, where Plato's Academy and Aristotle's Lyceum were the epicenters of philosophical thought. But not everyone was indoors, engrossed in academic debates. Enter Diogenes the Cynic, a man whose life took a dramatic turn following a mysterious exile. The story goes that he and his father, who minted coins, were implicated in a scandal involving defaced currency. This event was the first domino to fall in a series of events that led Diogenes to turn his back on his hometown of Sinope and set sail for Athens. Some say the scandal broke him, others say it made him. One thing is certain: it ignited a philosophical fire in him that would illuminate the rest of his life. As he arrived in Athens, he found himself in a city devoted to beauty, wealth, and intellect. But Diogenes saw through the veneer. He saw a society plagued by vanity, materialism, and a lack of moral integrity. He knew he didn't fit in, and he didn't want to. Diogenes became a disciple of Antisthenes, a former student of Socrates and a key figure in the budding Cynic philosophy. Under Antisthenes' mentorship, Diogenes honed his beliefs, eventually surpassing his teacher in radicalism and austerity. Donning a simple cloak, living in a makeshift home, a large ceramic jar, and carrying nothing but a staff and a begging bowl, Diogenes declared war on societal norms. He became a social and philosophical disruptor, challenging the Athenians to rethink their lives, shaking the intellectual aristocracy to its core. So what makes a man give up the comforts of society to live in a ceramic jar? What philosophical doctrines could drive such radical life choices? At the core of Diogenes' way of thinking are a few fundamental principles that disrupted the paradigms of his time and continue to be relevant today. First and foremost, the principle of autarkeia, or self-sufficiency. Diogenes believed that happiness could be attained only through complete independence from external circumstances. This goes beyond materialism. Diogenes saw societal norms, peer pressure, and even the pursuit of reputation as shackles on the human spirit. Next is askesis, which stands for ascetic discipline and austerity. Diogenes wasn't just living minimally for the sake of a fad. He believed that stripping life down to its bare essentials brought clarity and virtue. Luxuries and comforts, according to him, clouded judgment and led people astray from their moral compass. And then there is Parrhesia, or frankness and truth-telling. Diogenes had an almost confrontational approach to spreading his ideas. He would walk up to strangers, whether they were beggars or kings, and speak his mind without the veil of pleasantries or decorum. This blunt approach was more than just a personality trait. It was a method of cutting through societal illusions to expose raw, unfiltered truth. And let's not forget his dogged, pun intended, emphasis on living in accordance with nature. Cynic actually comes from the Greek word kainikos, meaning dog-like. Diogenes saw dogs as living authentically, without the artificial needs and desires imposed by society, and he sought to emulate their simplicity and honesty. Each of these principles wasn't merely a theoretical stance for Diogenes, they were calls to action, directives for living a life radically different from those around him. So after unraveling the intricate tapestry of Diogenes' philosophical principles, we arrive at the quintessential question: what is the legacy of this antiquarian iconoclast? How does his ethos reverberate through the corridors of time to influence our contemporary world? Diogenes' teachings have left an indelible impact on subsequent philosophical movements and even modern socio-cultural trends. For starters, Stoicism, with philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, owes a palpable debt to Diogenes' concept of autarkeia, or self-sufficiency. These thinkers refined and expanded upon his ideals, extending his influence into entire schools of thought focused on emotional resilience and personal independence. But it doesn't stop with ancient philosophers. Fast forward to the 21st century and we see the echoes of Diogenes' askesis, or ascetic discipline, in modern minimalist and environmentalist movements. This advocacy for a pared-down lifestyle, stripping life to its essential elements, to foster clarity and moral uprightness, is the modern echo of Diogenes' clarion call for simplicity. And let's not forget his audacious commitment to Parrhesia, speaking blunt, inconvenient truths. In a world where whistleblowers, investigative journalists, and social activists dare to challenge institutional narratives, the audaciousness of Diogenes' confrontational approach to truth-telling continues to inspire. Lastly, the modern fascination with eco-communities and wellness trends aimed at living in accordance with nature mirror Diogenes' kainos philosophy. Though we may not literally follow his dog-like ways, the yearning for a natural, unencumbered existence is a testament to the enduring allure of his teachings. So, even as we navigate a world vastly different from the city-states of ancient Greece, Diogenes' legacy lives on, manifesting in unexpected but deeply resonant ways. Whether it's the Stoics' quest for emotional equilibrium, the minimalists' pursuit of essentialism, the activists' raw outcry for truth, or the modern-day naturalists' return to an unadulterated lifestyle, Diogenes seems to nod at us from across the annals of time. His philosophy serves as a timely reminder that perhaps the best way to find what we're searching for is to eliminate what we never truly needed. As we venture deeper into the enigmatic life of Diogenes, you might be wondering how his radical ideas and lifestyle could be applicable to our modern existence. The answer lies not in mimicking his extreme action, but in adapting the core tenets of his philosophy into actionable steps that resonate with the challenges and opportunities we face today. From self-sufficiency to candid communication, from disciplined living to harmonious coexistence with nature. Let's delve into how you can bring some of Diogenes' wisdom into your daily life. Firstly, consider embracing minimalism on a personal level to experience the concept of autarkeia, or self-sufficiency. You don't have to live in a barrel like Diogenes, but consider decluttering your home and life. Remove things and even relationships that don't add value to your existence. By doing so, you can create a space that resonates with your true self, rather than one that echoes societal norms or expectations. This act of simplification can give you a new lens to focus on what's really important. Next, let's talk about Parrhesia, the practice of frankness and truth-telling. It might not be wise to be as confrontational as Diogenes was, but being candid in your daily interactions can be liberating. Speaking your mind, of course, with tact and consideration, can free you from the shackles of social conformity and strengthen your relationships. Truth-telling starts with little steps. You can begin by being more open about your feelings and thoughts with those closest to you. The third principle, askesis, advises a life of ascetic discipline and austerity. This doesn't mean you should abandon all comforts, but perhaps consider adopting regular habits that help you detach from material obsessions. Practices like fasting, meditation, or spending time in nature can help you understand your needs better. differentiate them from your wants, and live a more fulfilled life. Lastly, the principle of living in accordance with nature is more relevant today than ever. However, its application can be deeply personal too. Try to spend more time outdoors, appreciate the natural world, and think about your consumption habits. Making more eco-friendly choices isn't just good for the planet, it also aligns you closer to a life that's in harmony with nature, much like what Diogenes advocated. To sum up, while Diogenes' lifestyle might seem radical and perhaps impractical in today's world, the underlying principles have immense applicability. Whether it's through minimalism, truth-telling, disciplined living, or harmonizing with nature, there are tangible steps you can take to incorporate the wisdom of Diogenes into your daily life. In dissecting the life and philosophies of Diogenes, one might notice an uncanny resonance with the principles of nocturnity. Diogenes' focus on autarkeia, or self-sufficiency, aligns beautifully with nocturnity's emphasis on self-illumination. Both advocate for the individual's capacity to find strength, wisdom, and direction within themselves, rather than being shackled by external validation or societal expectations. Similarly, Diogenes' askesis, his commitment to disciplined minimalist living, serves as a radical manifestation of nocturnity's core principle of clarity through simplicity. By consciously opting for a life devoid of unnecessary frills and distractions, Diogenes showcased how one could confront and accept life's challenges in solitude, transforming them into a catalyst for personal growth and enlightenment. The Socratic method of questioning used by Diogenes has a parallel in nocturnity's promotion of universal learning. Diogenes believed in breaking down societal norms to reach essential truths, often using his confrontational approach to challenge established beliefs. Similarly, nocturnity emphasizes drawing wisdom from a multitude of sources, allowing for a comprehensive understanding of life's complexities. In essence, Diogenes' life and teachings could serve as a historical and philosophical backdrop for nocturnity. It shows that the quest for self-illumination, the acknowledgement of life's darker aspects, and the ceaseless pursuit of universal wisdom are not new aspirations, but have been sought after for millennia. It lends weight and depth to the nocturnity movement, providing both a validation of its principles and a roadmap for its future evolution. Diogenes is a vibrant, living paradox, shaking the very foundations of our materialistic world. He dares us to wander. What if the path to wisdom and happiness isn't laden with luxury, but stripped down to raw, unfiltered authenticity? Though his lifestyle may skirt the edges of social norms, it catapults us into a cerebral arena where we're compelled to reconsider our deepest values. In a world that often measures worth by wealth and status, Diogenes lights a fire under the notion of virtue, forcing us to question our ceaseless pursuit of more and beckoning us toward a life of purposeful less. His radical ethos is not merely a philosophy, it's an invitation, a challenge even, to unearth the sublime in the simple, and to find a sense of completeness, not from what we accumulate, but from what we shed. So, are you willing to step out of your comfort zone and explore the invigorating, uncomfortable, yet liberating dimensions of what it truly means to be human?